All rise. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The United States District Court for the Northern District of Florida is now in session. The Honorable Roger Vinson, Senior United States District Judge presiding. The Honorable Hope Cannon, United States Magistrate Judge. The Honorable W. Joel Bowles, State of Florida Circuit Judge assisting. All who have cause to plead, draw nigh, give attention, and ye shall be heard. God save the United States, the State of Florida, and their honorable courts.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me welcome you to our naturalization services in this May of 2019. And let me ask that you remain standing, and we'll have the presentation of the colors. Please be seated. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you this morning to the naturalization proceedings. And let me see, there are people standing. If there are seats close around, raise your hand. We have some people that look like they could probably use some seats. If there are seats close to you, raise your hand so that look like there are two or three over here. There's one back there. Anybody need to get them? Let me also remind you, ladies and gentlemen, to disable the sound on your cell phones and any sound-making devices. And okay. Anybody else need a seat? Well, again, let me welcome you. This is a proceeding of our United States District Court. We're not in our courthouse. Those of you who are locals know what's going on with our courthouse. It's still under reconstruction. But we are very honored and pleased to be here in City Hall, and we thank our mayor, Grover Robinson, over there, Grover, and all those at the city for allowing us to use this facility this morning. As I said, we are a part of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Florida. And as that name implies, we are the federal court that has jurisdiction over the northern one-third of the state of Florida. There's a court in the Middle District and one in the Southern District, but we are the Northern District, and we extend from here to Gainesville and regularly hold court here in Pensacola and Panama City, Tallahassee, and Gainesville. My name is Roger Vinson. I'm a senior judge of the court. I've been on the court now almost 36 years, so I've done a lot of these naturalizations in almost every conceivable place here in town, in Seville Square, on the aircraft carrier, at the Naval Air Museum, of course in our courthouses, here, any number of other places. But this is a very nice place for us to have our naturalization this morning. And we welcome all of you, the guests, our new citizen candidates, and our special guest that we'll introduce in just a moment. Over to my left, we have a number of organizations who are represented, and if you look in your programs, you'll see what these organizations do for us, and they all make our naturalization proceedings possible by providing aid and assistance and some materials and other matters to help our naturalization proceedings be as successful as possible, and we appreciate all that they do. So let me introduce some of our students. We have our students today who are visiting us from the Trinitas Christian School here in Pensacola, the 8th grade students, I believe, and they are seated where? All over here. Please stand up, students, so we can see you, right there. All right, welcome. Seated. We always invite one of our local classes or youth groups to assist us and they will help us in leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance a little bit later. They'll hand out some special awards. They have some essays that two of them have competed and won, and they'll read those for us, and we're very pleased to have them with us this morning and helping us commemorate this naturalization. We have our candidates who are seated where? All of our candidates are seated right here. Raise your hands, please, all of you. All right, I think we have. Of course, you are the reason we are here, and I think we have 86 or 8. How many? How many candidates do we have? 80 something.
83.
83.
You're on.
All right, so we're pleased to have 83 candidates for citizenship this morning. Hey, that's right. Our May naturalization is always held in connection with the observance of Law Day, Law Week, and the entire month of May by our local bar association, and state bars all around the country celebrate this in commemoration of the rule of law. And it's very important that the rule of law is the foundation stone for our government, and any government conceived in any liberty and rights for its citizens as ours is. So it's important that we commemorate that, and that's why this month's naturalization is in commemoration with the observation of Law Day, Law Week for the bar associations and the lawyers and the legal associations, but most importantly for the rule of law in our country and how important it is. Let me recognize some people who will be participating with us. Our United States Attorney's Office handles the legal portion of our proceedings today, and from the U.S. Attorney's Office is Assistant U.S. Attorney James Ustinowski, and he's over on the far end. Mr. Ustinowski will be introduced, and he'll handle all the formalities of the legal matters to make sure that our new candidates are properly and legally new citizens. Melanie Behrens is going to be singing our national anthem, and she is right here. So welcome. We're glad to have you. Our local Escambia Santa Rosa Bar Association helps us underwrite some of our activities, and our president of our local bar association, the Escambia Santa Rosa Bar Association, is Steve Traylor, and he's right over here, and he'll be introducing our speaker somewhat later. Steve is a graduate of Gonzaga Law School, way out in Washington State, and so he left Pensacola, went out to Washington State, got his law degree, and came back here to practice. He went far from home, but he came back showing how wise he is. Our Escambia Santa Rosa Bar Association's executive director is Jeff Nall, and he and the association make sure that everything is properly arranged. And here's Jeff. Congressman Matt Gaetz often has a representative, but I don't know if we have one. Is there a representative from Congressman Gaetz' office here? I don't see anybody. But we do have representatives from Senator Marco Rubio's office, Mary Beth Barrows, and she is
I'm right over here.
right here. And we have a representative from Senator Rick Scott's office, Sierra Anderson. Right
Good morning, everyone.
Let's see, representing the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, the Supervisory Immigration Service Officer is Terry Villarreal. So she's the one who makes sure that everybody's paperwork is in order and all of those things are properly taken care of and documented. We also have attending Brent Ray, who is Immigration Service Officer, and Eric Walker. Our color guard this morning is a representative from the United States Navy. It's Seaman Juan Castellum, who is a cryptologic technician collection seaman here at the Corey Field. Seaman apprentice? Seaman apprentice. All right, welcome. And thank you for serving and helping us this morning. He's stationed with the Information Warfare Training Command at Corey Station. As you know, that's our cryptographic program for not only the Navy, but the Armed Forces. Okay, we've got, let me see. We have two students who'll be introduced to you to read their winning essays in just a moment, but I'm going to introduce them right now. Joy Wilmer and Catherine Hazelnickel. Would you please stand right here in front? The essays will be What It Means to Be an American. And their teachers, Justin Hughes, and Mr. Hughes is right there. We have a number of other organizations. I'm going to very quickly call your names. If you'll please stand, of our representatives. The Daughters of the American Revolution, several chapters, Three Rivers chapters, Pensacola, please stand if you're here, raise your hand. Fort Pickens, Tocatahatchee Bay. We have representatives from Colonial Dames of America, League of Women Voters, Democratic Party of Escambia County, the Catholic Charities of Northwest Florida, Escambia County Supervisor of Elections, who will have a table set up for you to register to vote new candidates as soon as you are officially and legally citizens later this morning. The Paralegal Association of Northwest Florida, the Escambia County Tax Collector will also be here in the lobby. With a registration also to help you register for homestead exemption and things like that. So at this point, I think it's time for us to make sure we go through the legal formalities. So I'm going to recognize Mr. James Ustinowski, our Assistant U.S. Attorney, for the motion for admission. Mr. Ustinowski?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jimmy Ustinowski, and as his honor pointed out, I'm an Assistant United States Attorney. And many years ago, my grandparents on my father's side moved here from the Ukraine, and my grandparents on my mother's side moved here from Italy. And so I'm blessed and honored to be able to share this momentous day with you all. May it please the Court. On behalf of the United States, it is my pleasure to present these 83 petitioners for naturalization, 10 of which seek permission from the court for a name change. Each has been personally examined under oath by a designated examiner. Each has demonstrated an understanding of the English language and knowledge and understanding of the fundamentals of the history and principles and form of government of the United States. Each has been found to be a person of good moral character, attached to the principles of the Constitution of the United States, and well disposed to the good order and happiness of the United States. The investigation by the government has been completed in each case, and each has been found to meet all requirements of law to be naturalized. Your Honor, on behalf of the government of the United States, I very respectfully move that these petitions be granted, and that upon the taking of the oath of allegiance, these petitioners be admitted as citizens of the United States of America, and the requested name changes be granted. I would request now that each petitioner be allowed to stand, state their name, and their country of origin.
Mr. Ustinowski, that motion is enthusiastically granted, and all of these candidates, upon taking the prescribed oath, will be declared as citizens of the United States of America, and any requested name changes will also be granted as requested. So let me ask them to stand and introduce themselves one by one. And I think they're going to be standing in the order that you have them listed in your program, ladies and gentlemen, so you can follow along with the list. So let's see, where are we starting? Over on this side? All right.
I'm Janelle Simafranca Adams from Philippines.
Vivian Arafat from Cuba.
Isaac Arteaga from Honduras.
Gemma Azan from Barbados.
Joseph Azan from
Jamaica.
Salim Azam from Barbados.
Emily Bailey from the United Kingdom.
José Bermúdez, Costa Rica.
Flavia Briskin from Romania.
Ella Biu from Israel.
Em Thủy Bùi from Việt Nam.
Daniela Burkel from Germany.
Ayan Gamal Kameli from Philippines.
Nicolau Cardoso from Brazil.
Alessandra Cardoso from Brazil.
Mẹ Honju from Taiwan.
Bridget Phoenicia Galasso from India.
Carmen Reyes from Dominican Republic.
Eunice Naoke from Liberia.
Nekawan Mark Down from Liberia.
Daniela de Castro Sucre from Venezuela.
Janae Dorn from South Africa.
Hi, I'm Catalina Philippe from Moldova.
Olga Franskevich from Belarus.
Agustin Gavenda, Argentina.
Kerstin Gay from Germany.
Danilo Herbacio from the Philippines.
Imelda Herbacio from the Philippines.
Gonzalo Gonzalez from Cuba.
Eugene Gurbati from Moldova.
Penelope Jean Hayes, Canada.
Severiana Hernandez from Mexico.
Diễm Thị Hồng Huỳnh from Việt Nam.
Lokoto Ilunga from Congo.
Sturgill Islam from Bangladesh.
Jenny Lincoln from Philippines.
Ligia Leighton from Guatemala.
My name Han Kim Lee at Vietnam.
Iman Leary from Jordan.
Papalada Lubao Minsky from Thailand.
Dexter Lamaki from the Philippines.
Simon Manyweathers, United Kingdom.
Elita Mechkova from Bulgaria.
Priscilla Mello Alexander from Brazil.
Paris Melville from Brazil.
Helen de Bonilla from El Salvador.
Michel Montoro from France.
Marlinda Morales from Philippines.
Vranemkova, Czech Republic.
Hương Thị Xuân Nguyễn from Việt Nam. Selena Nguyen from Vietnam.
Oksana Piri from Kazakhstan. Valerie Perdue from Russia.
Trafan from Vietnam.
Denzel Polly from South Africa.
Jennifer Colley from South Africa.
Katarina Post from Sweden.
Shukrat Pulatov from Tajikistan.
Sashana Riley from Jamaica.
Carolina Riroko from Easter Island, Chile.
Kaylee Roberts, Barbados.
Cristina Ruth from Colombia.
Darren Skett, Canada.
Anastasia Skory from Kazakhstan.
Kazue Kawashima Smith, Japan.
Vivian Spade from Andorra.
Evangeline Vintanilla Stanley from Philippines.
Ludmila Stratulat from Moldova.
Kinga Switzer from Pensacola, from Poland.
Dolce Thomas from Germany.
Tatiana Torsen from Ukraine.
Nilsi Torres from Venezuela.
Mai Trân from Vietnam.
Miriam Isolin Tree from Ecuador.
My name is Fulen Leovini. I'm from China.
Olga Volkova from Russia.
Mei Zhengwen from China.
My name is Byung-suk in South Korea. My name is Ziako Widmont from Japan.
Trevor Wire from Antigua and Barbuda.
Bao Yingyu from Australia. Mingzhu from China.
Did we miss anybody? All right, let me make sure everybody got to introduce themselves. Everybody did? Okay. Let me ask our candidates to please stand. And raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, so help me God. Congratulations. As of this moment, you can turn around and wave at all these people smiling at you back here. As of this moment, you are the newest citizens of the United States of America. Congratulations. And you may be seated. As a part of our naturalization proceedings, I need to remind you that our new candidates are not only new citizens of the United States, but they're also new citizens of the state of Florida, the state where they reside. So we always invite one of our state judges to participate with us in our proceedings. And it's my pleasure to welcome this morning my friend and longtime friend and a circuit judge of the First Judicial Circuit here in Escambia County, Florida, the First Judicial Circuit of Florida, Joel Bowles. Welcome, Judge Bowles. Judge Bowles is certainly an old friend. We go to church together. We go way back. Probably the most important thing is that his wife was our babysitter for my wife and me. Their favorite babysitter, and very important babysitter for many years when she was in high school. Judge Bowles is a graduate of Cumberland University, practiced law here in Pensacola for a number of years before he went on the bench, and he's been a member of the judiciary for a number of years. I don't know how many, quite 16 years, so a good while. So, Judge Bowles, would you like to say something to our new citizens?
Well, just on behalf of the state of Florida, welcome as our newest citizens. I know that each of you has your own story about your journey to this day. Some have come to this country for economic opportunities, for reconnection with family members. Others have come to escape tyranny and oppression. Whatever your circumstances, I know that each person here has worked very hard and waited a long time for this day. America is the land of opportunity, the land of freedoms, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. It's also the land of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. As I look across this room, I see the happiness on the faces of those who have recently obtained the freedoms and liberties that are enjoyed by U.S. citizens. This ceremony is a wonderful reminder to us all of the blessings that we all enjoy as citizens of the United States. Again, congratulations to everyone. God bless each of you in the United States. I do want to say that it's a special day for my wife and me. We have a family member, Christina Rude, and then also two friends of ours, Mark and Eunice Dawn, who have taken the oath to be citizens today. Christina is from Colombia, and she met her husband, Rustin, while she was working in Costa Rica. They married, they have 2 children. Christina works at the preschool at the First Baptist Church here in town, and she has family in Colombia that she regularly sends money back to for help for their needs. We also have Mark and Eunice Dawn. The Dawns fled Liberia. It's a Western African country, and they fled during the Civil War a number of years ago and found themselves in our community. Mark ended up earning a bachelor's degree and taught school in the community for a while before he felt the call into the ministry. He and Eunice now run Light Evangelism Ministries and have built a school in Liberia, and have started an orphanage for a number of the children whose parents were lost as a result of the Ebola outbreak and other reasons. I'm very proud to be here. Congratulations to you guys and everybody else who have taken the oath today. Judge.
Thank you, Judge Bowles, and we will all hear from Eunice Dawn in just a few minutes. So. More about that later. It is also my pleasure to welcome to my left our newest United States Magistrate Judge. Magistrate judges are selected by the judges of our court, and we have selected our newest Magistrate Judge, Hope Cannon, who is on my left, and she has been with us since March the 1st, so only 2 months. And she will have an interesting story, I think, to tell you, but she's a graduate of University of Alabama Law School. She had a very successful national law practice with the largest law firm in Birmingham for a number of years, very highly respected litigator. So she is with us now here as our magistrate, one of our magistrate judges here in Pensacola. So that's Judge Hope T. Cannon, Magistrate Judge Cannon.
Good morning and welcome. It is truly an honor for me to be able to share in this wonderful occasion with you today. a little over 30 years ago, I won't tell you exactly when, so you won't guess my age, I was in a courtroom standing with my mom and my sisters and my brother, and we had just fled Vietnam, and we were becoming citizens of the United States. So I know exactly what it is like to go on this journey and the journey that you have been on, and what an accomplishment it is. I would never have thought I would be sitting here today and have the opportunity to welcome the newest citizens to Florida and to the United States. So it is truly an honor for me. I know, though, that this is just the beginning of your journey, as it was for me and my family when we became citizens. So I hope that your journey will bring you new opportunities, and that it will be the fulfillment of your dreams, because your dreams at this point are as much as you want them to be. So also, I think as we go into the Memorial Holiday, I think everyone should take a moment and just remember all the men and the women who have sacrificed, both in the countries that you lived in and also in this great country. You are the faces of America, and I hope that you will carry it with pride and with dignity and with honor. Again, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Cannon. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask that you please stand, and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance led by our students from Trinitas Christian School, followed by the National Anthem by Melanie Behrens. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Be seated, please. Melanie Behrens. Thank you. Thank you. Be seated, please. At our naturalizations, we always present a flag to our oldest, actually we call them the wisest of our citizens, new candidates and new citizens, and our youngest. So our students are going to make that presentation. Joy Wilmer and Catherine Hazelwinkle are going to do that. And our wisest citizen is Denzel Polly. And I will not say how old he is, but raise your hand right there. Congratulations. We'll bring it, we'll send it to you. Just stand right there. We'll get it to you. Denzel Polly. Thank you. And our youngest citizen, who I will say is only 18 years old, is Tryman Palm. And please stand or raise your hand. Try.
Sit right next to you.
Tryman Palm, congratulations. As I indicated earlier, we asked one of our new citizens to speak on behalf of everyone as an opening remarks as they celebrate their new citizenship. And to do that this morning, it's Eunice Dawn, who's already been mentioned to you by Judge Bowles. So Eunice Dawn will give the remarks for our new citizens.
Good morning to all. I'm Eunice Dawn from Liberia, and my husband Mark Dawn is over there. And one of our children, Mark, the one we born here in America, is here. And I give God the glory to be here today. It's been a mighty long way for us to get to where we are today. And I give God the glory. Our journey all began since the Civil War in our country that started 1989. In 1989, there was a chaos in our country. And I was pregnant with my second child, and we have to flee for our lives. We walked. I was about 5 months pregnant, and we began to walk because there was no transportation. If you have one, the rebel would take that from you. And so I walked with my family until I couldn't walk anymore. And moreover, we slept under the rain. It was during the rainy season in Liberia, August, and I caught pneumonia. I almost died. Well, the Lord saved me from bullet, but the pneumonia was getting ready to take my life. But by the grace of God, God took me through that. And then we fled to the Ivory Coast. We were in the Ivory Coast for 7 years. And before we went to Ivory Coast, God had called my husband into a ministry. It was just a newly born ministry to go and minister to young people on the beach of Liberia. And then, when we fled to the Ivory Coast, we never gave up on the dream. We had, my husband was working very hard for the family because there was no income. And he used to do yard work, washing people's clothes. And later on, he had a job with the city mayor that they were cleaning up the streets. And then finally, he got a job with the mission organization that is called SIM. He only make $200 a month. And we have 3 children at that time with a whole lot of distant families, because everybody ran away from the war. And so he made $200 US, and then because we had a dream to come to America so that we can go to school, he can go and do ministry back to Liberia. And so while we were there, the Lord gave us this opportunity to work, for him to work all these jobs. And when we make $200, we took $100 from the 200 and send it to US here. And it happens to be here in Pensacola at Pensacola Christian College. And we raised that money for 7 years, $100 here. And we asked the missionaries to write us a check, $100 check, and we kept on sending it to Pensacola Christian College. At the time, they have already accepted my husband to come to college. And after getting the first semester tuition, for 7 years, he was given an I-20 to come to school. And he left the young kids and I in the Ivory Coast. And he was here for 10 months. And finally, it was not easy. It was not easy for us to get visa to come over. We went to the embassy. They did not deny us, but they told us to bring affidavits of support and medical support and all these things. We had nowhere to get there. And we tried every way we could. There was no way, but we went to God, and the Lord opened a way for us. We got a visa. I and my 3 children, and we came over. I came as a student dependent. I couldn't work because I did not have the documents to work. And we were home at that time. My husband was only making $300. He was a student and working also on the campus, and he was only making $300. And we rented a trailer that we were paying $280. Just imagine what was left for food. But yet, the Lord provided for us. We met some friends, and someday they would just bring us loaves of bread to eat. And the Lord took care of us. Sometimes the children would say, Mom, why are we going to eat? I would tell them, pray, the Lord going to provide for you. But the Lord did provide for us. My husband went to school. I was home with the children. And after he had gotten his master, he went to work with the school system here at Escambia, and he was working with Bellevue Middle. He worked for 3 years. I mean, everything was getting better. We would begin to have American dreams. And after three years, my husband decided to give up the job because he told the Lord God Almighty that he was going to do the ministry. He was going to work, carry back the ministry to our people in Liberia. We were going back to minister to our people in Liberia. And so it was difficult for the family. And when I shared that with the children, they were like, how are we going to survive? I told them, God will provide. He said, the Lord will provide for us. And so he quit the job and began to go and do the ministry. Because we know very well where we came from. The people, they were very poor. We have all suffered the Civil War, and there was nothing. And so we came to the land of liberty, the land of freedom. We just did not want to forget our home and the people that we have promised them that if we be successful, we're going to come back and work with them. And so we went back. We went back and began a ministry in Liberia. We call it Light Evangelism Ministry. We minister to them in the Word of God, and also have a Christian high school that is almost to be completed. But still, we began using that when it was incompleted. And the blessed thing was that God blessed America, and God blessed the people of America. We found faithful friends here in Pensacola and other part of USA that stood with us through the difficult time. And even to establish the ministry, it was people who gave us money, American people that have very good hearts. And I just praise God and bless America and the people of America. You people are wonderful. You love strangers, and you are willing to do everything, even to be part of you. We are very grateful to God today to be God's citizens of America. And not only will we be citizens and be here and enjoy, but with the help of Americans, we can be of a help of our people back home. Thank you, America. Thank you, all of our best friends.
Thank you, Eunice Dawn. We also go to church together, and so welcome as a new citizen, and thank you for reminding us of what it means to be an American. I'm sure that most of our new citizens have stories that are equally intriguing, and I wish we could ask every one of you to share your individual stories. Let me remind you that today is May the 24th, and I hope in years to come that you can celebrate on May the 24th because it's your birthday as a new citizen today, and we celebrate with you. But let me remind you that over the years, millions of Americans have raised their hand just as you did a little while ago and become citizens and gone on to make enormous contributions in every field of endeavor in our country. We are celebrating the rule of law, as I said, and the rule of law is important because you are here legally, and there's a lot of controversy about illegal immigration and all the other controversies, but nobody disagrees with the fact that you make a wonderful contribution to our country as legal immigrants, as new citizens, and I congratulate each of you for what you have done. I know it's not an easy process sometimes. We know all the paperwork that's involved in the interviews and the tests and all the things that you have to go through to become a candidate and then a new citizen, and we respect that. But again, it's most important that you are a part of our country now, and thank you for doing so. At this time, I'm going to recognize our students for their essays, and I'm going to begin with Joy Wilmer. Both of our students are from Trinitas Christian Schools. So, Joy.
Hi, my name is Joy Wilmer, and I may be biased, but I believe America is the greatest country in the world. It is where people come to pursue their dreams. While in America, I've learned so much about it, both in school and at home. America is a brave and free country. In school, we learn about My parents both served many years in our military. The military fights for us every day so we can sleep peacefully at night. Our land is free for you to go to any church that you desire. In school, we learn about the persecution happening in other countries for being a Christian. But here, being a Christian is okay, and you don't have to worry about being killed. America is not only the home of the free and brave, but is full of great schools and churches. In America, you are not assigned to go to a specific church, but you may go to any one you desire. Some schools in America are classical and Christ-centered, and your children will be able to have an amazing education. All of you here today are about to become an American citizen, just like my grandfather did when he immigrated from Panama in 1992. Out of all the countries in the world, you chose to come to America. Don't worry, you won't regret your decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy Wilmer. And now let me call on Catherine Hazelwinkle, also from Trinitas Christian School.
Good morning. My name is Katie Hazelwinkle. I think being an American is the greatest honor because it is one of the only nations that guarantees life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Many immigrants came to the United States for multiple reasons: jobs, religious, and political freedom. In the early 1900s, 26 million immigrants proceeded to the United States. Many of the immigrants came from Germany and Ireland. Before Ellis Island, immigrants came through Castle Garden, which was a building where immigrants were checked for the right papers and diseases. A few of them were given more American names. My great-grandfather came over to America from Poland when he was a child on December 23, 1911. He later became a United States citizen on August 9, 1937. He came with his family to live a better life. Being an American is a great honor because it is a free country. We will not get punished for the way we worship. We also have the freedom of speech. Many people have fought and died to give us our freedoms, and many more will fight and die so we can keep them.
Kathleen Hazelwinkle, thank you. Let me also mention the programs that you have. These are printed out and underwritten. The cost of that is underwritten by the Rotary Club of Pensacola, and I didn't recognize a representative from the Rotary Club. Do we have anybody from a Rotary Club besides Grover and me? Well, we appreciate what they do for us. All right, at this time, let me recognize Steve Traylor, the president of the Escambia Santa Rosa Bar Association, who will in turn introduce our speaker.
Thank you, Judge. May it please the court. It's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today, Grover C. Robinson IV, who is, as you heard earlier, the mayor of Pensacola. He grew up in Escambia County and is also a seventh-generation Pensacolian. In 1992, he received a Bachelor of Science degree in economics from Birmingham Southern College, where he graduated summa cum laude. Prior to becoming mayor, he served as an Escambia County Commissioner from 2006 to 2018, and he has an extensive history of service to the Pensacola community, which includes serving on the City of Pensacola's Planning Board from 2002 to 2005. He's won various awards for his community involvement and service to our area, including the Joe Old Mixon Service Award, the Presidential Advocate Award, and is a graduate of LEAP Pensacola. He's also received a variety of recognitions and appreciation, including the Special Congressional Recognition Certificates from both the Florida House of Representatives and the Florida Senate. He's actively involved with a variety of community organizations and holds positions on the Baptist Healthcare Foundation Board and the Pensacola State College Board. He's married to Jill Robinson. They have 2 children. You'll not be surprised to learn that their son is named Grover V and their daughter, Anna Lowry. He and his family are active parishioners at Christ Episcopal Church. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Robinson.
Thank you very much. Let me say it is my sincerest, the biggest honor for me to be able to be here to greet several new residents of the City of Pensacola. So we certainly say, welcome to the western gate of the Sunshine State, where thousands live the way millions wish they could. So we certainly are very happy in the decision you've made. I feel very fortunate that my family has been here for a long time, but as I always say, the great thing about Pensacola is we welcome anyone to be here. It doesn't matter when you get here, we just want you to get here. So we're glad that you're here. We're glad you're a part of our city and a part of this great community in Northwest Florida. It certainly is something that we believe is the best place to come to, no matter where you've been. Once you get to the Emerald Shores of Northwest Florida, we are glad that you're here, and we are certainly look forward to working with you to continue and build a future for both you and our community as we move forward. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit. I was going to say this is important for me because Judge Bowles, who's behind me, his mother-in-law was my first grade teacher, and Judge Vinson, his wife, was also a teacher at that same school. So I certainly I'm going to try to show that I learned a little bit of stuff in class, and that I am capable of showing the things I learned at Cordova Park Elementary. But I do want to tell you a little bit of a story and wind up into what certainly your new citizenship is. I'm going to tell you a story about a young man who's about 20 years old. He's from Ireland, and he wants to seek economic opportunity and adventure, but he certainly wasn't planning to leave Ireland. But he joined, at that point, is the 1850s, and he joined a merchant marine and joined and went and sailed around the world. And one of the places that they went to sail was Northwest Florida, which at that time had virgin timber and was known as a naval and a lumber storage place. There was a mill in Baghdad, Florida, and if you know where Baghdad is, south of Milton, that's about as far up as the boats that had sails could come up. It was deep enough, a harbor there, that they could get all the way up there in Baghdad. And this gentleman his job was to go up and handle the rigging of the sails. And so on the way in, he went up to do all the rigging and the sails. However, he slipped while he was up there, fell and hit the deck, shattered his leg. At this point in the 1850s, there was no workers' comp. There wasn't a whole lot left. The ship captain told him he couldn't work and that they were going to drop him off in Baghdad, Florida. So a man from Ireland is now in Baghdad, Florida with no money, no opportunity, no much of anything. Fortunately, a family took him in. The family had already taken in a young lady who was an orphan. Unfortunately, at that point in time, we still were struggling in Northwest Florida with yellow fever, and there was a lady they had taken in that was an orphan. Anyways, that family and that young lady nursed him back to health, and eventually he got to a point where his leg had recovered. At that time, he had a choice to make, whether he looked to come back, to get on the next ship that came through sometime, and to come back and try to get back to Ireland, his home, or whether to stay in the new land that had found a way to nurse him and bring him back to health. And at that moment, much like you did 10 minutes ago, he made a choice to stay in Northwest Florida and make this his home. He ended up marrying that young orphan. They built a house by hand that's now owned by the University of West Florida, and his family continued to grow there. His grandson moved his family, his grandson who was the first of his name, moved his family to Pensacola. And from there, they had a number of scions after him that became leaders in this community, leaders in the bar and becoming lawyers in this community, leaders who were a judge, a Florida State House member, a Escambia County Commissioner, and even the mayor of the City of Pensacola. And the reason I know that story is because that boy that I told you about who was a sailor was my great-great-grandfather who came to this country. So, in one way or another, the reason that you indicated the strong feelings that we have for individuals coming to this community is because we've all, one way or another, our families have all come here for somewhere. Even though if we've been here for multiple generations, we all came here at some point from somewhere else. And certainly that's why, as the judge has said, legal immigration will always be a huge part of the United States and what we are as a community and a nation. All of us came from somewhere else to be here. And it is interesting because I look at the group of you, it symbolizes what we are as the United States. We're not bound by a common ethnicity, a common background, a common language, any of these things that normal countries find themselves bound by. We are bound by a sense, as Judge Vinson said earlier, we are committed to the rule of law. You said it in your oath. You said that you would defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America. It is actually that very thin belief which holds so much opportunity in it that is what binds us together. We believe that it is the rule of law and that no matter whether you were made a citizen 10 minutes ago or have been one for 10 generations ago, it is the same law that bounds us together. And we commit to each other to work within that law. So I welcome you to be a part of that process. Again, as you heard from our students here earlier, we're not bound by freedom of religion. We're not even bound to agree with each other. We are simply agreeing that we will live within a set of rules and that we will work together to make this community better. My great-great-grandfather came here for economic opportunity. I'm sure whatever it was, whether it was political freedom, whether it was economic opportunity, or however you got to this place, we are very happy that you're in Northwest Florida. Take the opportunity that goes forward. Much like my great-grandfather, you don't know what may happen. It may be your great-great-grandson or great-great-granddaughter who goes on and does something certainly very meaningful in this country. Or it may be, as Judge Vizza said, yourself or your child. The opportunity is yours, and you really have the ability to start. It's not about where you came from. It's about your common opportunity to be together and go forward from here. You have the opportunity to do that, and we wish you take the most of it, and we look forward to working with you, certainly here within the United States, but also within the city of Pensacola. Again, welcome, and we are certainly glad to have you live where thousands live the way millions wish they could.
Thank you, Mayor Robinson. I need to share with everyone, Mayor Robinson is almost like a member of our family. My wife Ellen is back there. Raise your hand. The teacher he mentioned, but Mayor Robinson's parents, Grover III and Sandra, were among our closest friends, and we treat them and Grover like a part of our family. We've known them for a long time, and certainly an asset to Pensacola. So thank you, Mayor Robinson, for speaking with us. A long line of Robinsons here. I knew his grandfather, who was a judge and a lawyer, and his father, who was a lawyer and a good friend, and certainly have made wonderful contributions to our community. And it's people like that that make this country strong. It's what makes this country unique, and it's what makes this country, I think, a wonderful place to live and raise your family. So, new citizens, citizenship in the United States is not something that you can buy like you could in ancient Rome. It's not a citizenship that's for sale, and it's something that you can leave to your children and future generations. It's an inalienable gift, and again, welcome to be a part of our family as Americans. So my fellow Americans, congratulations. This time, let me call upon Seaman Juan Castellum to come back up, and we'll retire the colors and conclude our naturalization proceedings. Let me thank everyone who has participated with us, all of those who have been a part, including my colleagues on the judiciary who are with me, all of those who've made introductions and presentations, and Mayor Robinson, not only for speaking, but for letting us use City Hall. So thank you. Let me remind our new citizens, if you'll stay seated, they'll distribute your new citizenship certificates to you. A reminder that Dickie Williams from the Navarre Press is here to take photographs up here with the judges after you've gotten your certificates. And a reminder that you can register to vote or get homestead exemptions out in the lobby after we are adjourned. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, again, thanks to everyone, and we are adjourned.